Hello everyone. Today we're going to have a little bit of a discussion, an analysis, on what I think is probably one of the worst banners in Fire Emblem Heroes. It's one of the worst because, not because the units are bad, in fact, most of them are very good, outside of Ferdinand. But the problem is that it embodies everything that is wrong with Fire Emblem Heroes itself. The game is, unfortunately, not going to change anytime soon because, well, I suppose we'll go into details now. In my opinion, Fire Emblem Heroes is a game that is poorly designed. When it was first brought out in 2017, I don't think they had an ambition for the game to actually do very well. I don't think they actually expected it to go as well as it is now. But, well, as it turns out, it was amazing. Lots of people like it. And therein lies the problem. So they kind of dug themselves into a grave, you see, with the whole, hey, you know, we have, the only thing that they really make money from is the merges. But, well, you have lots of free-to-play orbs. So anyone could just sit on their asses for a while and get to plus 10, whether with feathers or orbs or some shit like that. And all of a sudden, hey, I have a plus 10 hero, I can go and pretty much participate in all late game content. So, to prevent that from happening, they decide that, oh yeah, we need more power creep, on top of more power creep, on top of more power creep. I think that it's not entirely unjustified, because no one's going to spend money if that is the case. But I think the haste, the way they're doing it, is not right. And that is pretty much what's going on right now in this banner. They are releasing Generation 4 units in full force. So, look at Hilda, for example. Hilda has pretty good BST. She's a Generation 3 unit with amazing stats and everything. And then all of a sudden comes Annette, who surpasses her. And I know Annette is not really much of, a fighter compared to Hilda, but thanks to all this power creep, now she matches Hilda in strength. And in fact, I think she's better than Hilda. You could make the argument that, oh, Hilda is a little bit faster. Hilda's got a pref weapon that makes her faster, makes her hit harder, and whatnot. But Annette, well, I suppose I could go into detail when I talk about Annette, but Annette can do much more than just fighting. And I don't think she's a slouch in fighting either. Now, I think that, honestly, the whole Fey Pass thing, the whole, pretty much everything they're introducing right now, the whole form soul things, everything like that, they're all just geared towards making money from the game. I think people pretty much are getting tired of new units. They're just settling down with plus 10s. Outside of, like, really, really horrible people, they kind of just, find a unit they want to settle with, have some kind of a setup with them, and everything is fine. So now we have people, like, just coming up with Fey Pass, and it pisses a lot of people off, because Fey Pass was just not implemented properly. But I like the idea behind it in that it gives skins, and the stats that it gives. I hear a lot of people complain about, oh, the stats are evil, but honestly, it only brings them to Gen 3. And the Gen 1 units, even with like 10 extra stats, is not much better. 2 to all stats is really not that much better. And they don't have what is currently the most important problem in the new units. Right now, super boons are all geared towards their primary stats. So you have like Cynthia here with a super boon. She already comes with like 41 attacks, so why not have 45? Lilina only has 37, and she does not get a super boon. So if a super boon is applied, she has 5 extra attack compared to Lilina. So even if Lilina were to get a resplendent version of herself, she would still lag behind. That is the problem with units today. Anyway, we should probably get into this banner proper, otherwise I'm just keep talking about how IES dig themselves a grave and yada yada. The point is that right now I understand why they're doing it. I just think that they're really boneheaded in doing it. I honestly don't think people It's like, I don't know, and stats, they're always just thinking about stats. Whatever happened to unique mechanics? And I suppose there's really only so much you can do with this game, but, well, anyway, that's a discussion for another time. So for this banner, apparently the evil Flame Emperor and their cronies have captured Bernadette, Annette, and Lysithea, tied them up to lure the poor professor into coming to save them. However, the evil Flame Emperor changed them using evil, I don't even know what kind of technology that we call. I guess we'll just call them Agarthan technologies, and changed them using some kind of lolly virus to change all the girls into lollies. They don't even look normal anymore. I mean, just look at Lysithea. Does she look like a normal character? She looks like a marshmallow. She doesn't even look like a person anymore. She's absolutely ridiculous. That art is just out of control. It's like they seriously have given them age regression medicine or something like that. They look absolutely ridiculous. And so that's the story behind that. Poor Ferdinand, though. Well, Ferdinand, as I have told before in my wonderful story, he decided that he's going to go and brag. He's going to brag up to Monica Lewinsky about how noble he is, in the hopes that maybe he'll get some obligatory blowjob. But, well, he did not get any of that. In fact, he got scratched. Got scratched by the evil Monica. Now, he mutated into a gay clown. So, he's such a gay clown that his stats are a clown. Everything about him's a clown. He doesn't have a pref weapon. You know, I actually happen to like Ferdinand von Egge a lot. I absolutely love his techniques. I like the way that, hey, I'm at full health, all of a sudden I have 20 dodge. That's disgusting. That's deplorable. That's a unique trait that he should have had. Let's just say, oh, maybe Ferdinand could have had like 20% reduction. That would have been great. At full health, that would have been great. It's not like he's going to block that much anyway. 20% isn't that much. Even at 40% with close call stuff, you can still kind of kill them. But 20% isn't all that much, and you know what? It still would have been fine. Instead, we got what? What the hell is that? It's like Vanguard, Vanguard Plus. You know, Ferdinand's been robbed. But anyway, let's just start talking about Lysithea first, and we'll go back to Ferdinand in a second. So as I said before, with Lysithea, Lysithea is sitting at 41 attack, goes to 45, and it's not that, you know, her speed is slow either. She has very high speed at 37. So not only will she obliterate you, but she will also double you. But you know what? It might not be such a bad thing. In retrospect, all right. When I'm comparing the two, Lilina and Lysithea, right? It turns out that Lysithea has 2 more HP, 4 more attack, goes to 5 if we have Super Boon, 12 more speed, 2 more defense. But Lilina does have one thing that she has over Lysithea. Oh, 7 more res. Whoop-de-doo, right? Lysithea has 13 more BST than Lilina. Now, when I compare the two, due to how her pref weapon handles, Lysithea will do 8 or 9 with Super Boon, extra attack compared to Lilina. Not to mention, she also gets cooldown reduction. And if she uses Time's Pulse, which she comes with, she can just spam that all day. Well, not all day, because it only works once in the beginning of the turn. So Special Spiral Lilina would probably still have some edge, unless you were to say give Special Spiral to Lysithea. Although I feel like that's a bit of a waste, it is something that would help Lysithea's DPS a whole ton. Though it's a bit of a waste. In fact, though, if we were to do that, we should probably change her build. We should probably change her build a little. But anyway, we'll talk about the builds in a second. So, Lilina, if she were to actually get her chill res on someone, though, then this 8 damage difference can actually be made up. Now, when you really think about it, okay, then that means she's only missing like 1 attack or 2 attack, so it's really not that bad. In fact, most red mages are pretty much the same. It's actually pretty terrible. That's why, when I think about mechanics and I think about stats, stats really, really bore me. It really, really bores me. They really should come up with more mechanics. Close Call was a pretty decent mechanic. I actually like that a lot, even though it is kind of OP, but I kind of like that a lot. And that's something that the current red mages, including Lysithea, kind of misses. Although I think that Kyria is a lot more unique in that she has a ton of defense, and she also has a bunch of debuffs on top of it. I think Kyria is probably the best red mage. Lysithea is great, but I think Kyria probably has a bit of an edge. Now, why do I say something like this? See, the problem with Lysithea is that her stats in terms of defenses are only sitting at 21 and 24. She has the same problem that Legendary Arm has, in which that, hey, if we can't kill that target on our first blow, when they counterattack us, my face will explode. And that is the problem with Lysithea. If we're going to use Lysithea, we should probably think about how we're going to deal with the enemy if we can't take them out in a single blow. Lilina herself is just a one-shot wonder. So, but at the very least, if you fight someone with magic, hey, my face won't immediately melt off like that dude in Indiana Jones. You know how his face just melts and turns into a skull? That's what happens. But at the very least, Lilina has the resistance to protect herself when she's fighting mages. So that 7 resistance actually matters. Not to mention, oh hey, maybe I can use some stupid ploy or something like that to weaken the enemy further. Lilina actually has a bit more options. And since, hey, I can't attack twice anyway, I might as well use Special Spiral. I might as well use some other technique like guard or something like that. I have that open to me because you know what? I'm only gonna get that one shot. I have nothing better. Lysithea, on the other hand, she comes with low speed res, which is pretty good. It allows her to double nicely, and it also allows her to obliterate someone if she gets a second shot. But as I mentioned before, she might not actually survive that. That's the same problem that Legendary Arm has. So her B slot might actually need to be something else. If I were to build Lysithea, I would recommend getting something like Guard if we're going to go for the double route. In which case we should ditch the Death Blow 4 that she comes with, switch it over for Guard, and then she would actually be able to survive some attacks as long as the enemy's attack is sky high and she's like attacking some kind of blue unit or something like that. Although then she won't be able to do much for armor units with Worry Fighter, but that's another can of worms right there. Still, having Guard means that if she were to double, she can do a much better job with it. Of course, she can also use Desperation, but hey, if I can't even survive a single counterattack, where's my Desperation gonna come from? I know that a lot of people find that Fury is stupid, it's like everybody has Fury, I still think that it would be good for attackers to have some kind of bulk, because nowadays, this isn't like, 2017, 2018, where if you attack someone, they won't immediately rip your face off. Enemy face units is a real thing, and you fight someone with a breath, they immediately can counter with a moonbow or something stupid like that, and then your head explodes. That's the end of it. So you probably want to consider this when you run Lysithea, whereas, Lilina is pretty much straightforward. You either build her to be a one-shot wonder like Lilina, which comes with its own problems, honestly, because she's a red unit. At the end of the day, she's a red mage. Runs into someone with high resistance? Fuck. Runs in a blue unit? Fuck. Honestly, I don't think she's all that unique. Now, she does have that Times Pulse, which allows her to get that additional 6 attack. That's part of her weapon. That's how she was able to match up to Lilina. Now, on enemy phase, she's absolutely helpless. Completely helpless. There's no way around it. On player phase, she only gets that 1 attack. After that 1 attack, she cannot perform any more attacks unless she carries Special Spiral. So if I were to do that, I would... It's a bit of a waste, because Special Spiral and Times Pulse, they do not mix. If you have Special Spiral after every fight, Times Pulse will not activate, because, hey, you know what? You've already used me up. so you can't immediately use it to build up another Luna, because their requirements are different. Times Pulse, if you already have a couple of points, a couple of cooldown reduction already, you can't get another one. You can't get that one extra one unless you're at your max. So because of that, Special Spyro and Times Pulse, you might still want to run something like might still want to just keep Moonbow, even though it's a bit of a waste. That way you can keep chunking your attacks. Alternatively, you could run Luna or something like that, in which case you'll just have to build up again, but it's also kind of iffy. I think that the best compromise would be to run the old Luna build with the AoE attacks. I forgot what it's called. I think it was Growing Wind. Yeah, I think it was Growing Wind. With something like Growing Wind or Growing Thunder or whatever or whatever super powered blazing skills that they have, AoE skills. That way, after you use it, you have your additional attack coming after Special Spyro. Then you'll be able to keep attacking with Lysithea using your AoE attack. So Moonbow is no good. Times Pulse is only there to get you started. Afterwards, Special Spyros will take care of the rest. That is the best way to use Lysithea, in my opinion. Anyway, so that's pretty much it about Lysithea. Lysithea is very weak to Vantage as well, so you gotta keep that in mind. She's just incredibly frail. So, as a mage and everything, I still feel that Kyria is probably better. Yeah, Kyria has a lot more. Kyria just can't double. That's the problem. But Lysithea, you don't even have to think about doubling because you're gonna do the AoE anyway. Luckily, she does have that cooldown reduction, so she flows a lot better than Lilina would have in terms of doing AoE. But you know what? It's fine, because she's a 5-star exclusive unit, and we're still waiting for the CYL version. If you're going to invest on her, be my guest, but I think that now I'm just going to wait for CYL and see what we can do about that. Alright, now let's move on to another character. Let's go on to Bernadette. Now, Bernadette, her Persecution Bow, I thought that's kind of stupid. I was hoping that her Persecution personal skill would be an ABC slot thing, not a weapon. See, the problem with this weapon is that the description lies, although they explain that, they made a mistake. She has to be under penalty, and her HP has to be less than 100% in order for her to get her extra 5 attack and extra 5 speed. Now, on top of this, she also cannot do the whole desperation thing and make a follow-up attack before foe can counter-up attack, unless she has less than 100% HP or has penalty attached to her. So Persecution Bow is something that is kind of iffy for me, because Bernadette also suffers from the same problem that Lysithea has, in which, hey, guess what, my defenses aren't really all that great. My defenses is actually kind of low, 22, 26, so any counterattack will rip your face off. And hey, if you want to use that desperation thing, I mean, you could purposefully get yourself debuffed, but that getting debuffed, since it doesn't neutralize debuffs, it works against you. So the attack and the speed +5 kind of gets negated, or you could even have some terrible penalty that lowers your stats even more, or some stupid effects like guard or something like that that'll screw you over. There's a whole bunch of reasons why these things where you have less than 100% HP or penalty is not all that great unless it can be negated. So Bernadette, unfortunately, is not all that great because of this Persecution Bow. I think that this Persecution Bow is kind of working against her. Now, if she has a B slot like City Mongolian Lin, which allows her to negate counterattacks, like Sakei's Blessings and negate counterattacks, then we have another case altogether. But as it is, she has some problems. She can't use Fire Sweep Bow, so yeah, I get counterattacked, my face melts off, like that guy in Indiana Jones, and that's the end of it. Attack speed push 4 though could be useful. So the ideal way to use her is certainly to somehow get some penalty on you and just overwhelm the enemy as hard as you can without getting killed. So you have to look for people who can counterattack you, blast them once, and then attack speed push will take care of it from there on. So her base kit pretty much is what you would want for her anyway. The low speed dev, perfect, no problem. It would be kind of nice if she's got access to special Spyro, but hey, I'm on a horse for some goddamn reason. And it's really stupid. Being on a horse nowadays actually works against you. It's not all that great anymore. Even back then, City Mongolian is scary, not because she can reach, like, you know, all the way across the map and rip your face off. It's because she can't negate counterattacks one way or another. So Bernadette has her weaknesses, and she must be considered carefully. Okay, so with regards to comparison to Claude, at the very least, well, hey, I guess I have a little more defense and resistance compared to Claude. I'll lose one attack, lose one health. Doesn't matter. I have pretty much one health, one attack. What does that even mean? She's got, like, Claude completely power crept. It's disgusting. It makes me sick just thinking about it. Claude is actually cool. Claude is also, you know, the house leader. And now he's screwed by Bernadette. As much as I like Bernadette, well, then again, I mean, Bernadette and Claude both suffer from the same problem. So they're both screwed. But, you know, Bernadette is a little less screwed. How unfortunate. You can't even, like, give her infantry pulse on... infantry pulse, yeah, I guess infantry pulse. Infantry pulse, times pulse, any pulse. So her C slot is kind of just up in the air. Her main use is to just go and walk in and blast someone in the face, and that's pretty much it. Anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. That's the same kind of setup everybody does. I would say that if you're going to choose a bow cavalry, you have much better options in Leaf. Leaf. I almost said Lift. Leaf. Leaf's Brave Bow and Gale Force allows them to attack, escape, and all kinds of stupid techniques. And also blasting a unit and then killing another one. That's just absurd. Bernadette cannot quite do that. She's really not that much different from City Mongolian Lin, honestly. And I still think that even to this day, City Mongolian Lin is in a realm that is really, really hard to match because of stupid Sakei's blessings. If not Sakei's blessing, well, you know, I can still use Fire Sweep Bowl or something like that. But I honestly think that Sakei's blessing just kind of... it just rules. Just rules. And Bernadette, if you were to switch her to Fire Sweep Bowl, she has no personal skills anymore. It's just unfortunate. Bernadette is a bit of an unfortunate case. However, the next unit, though. The next unit. Annette. Annette is amazing. Annette is absolutely absurd. Crazy. She may not look like much. I mean, you look at her, she's like, oh, okay. You can calculate lower def or res, so you do extra damage from time to time. When you rally someone, well, I guess to rally someone is actually something really scary, but, you know, otherwise she's really not all that special looking, but she's honestly very, very scary. She's, in fact, in my opinion, the strongest unit on this banner. Absolutely the strongest unit on this banner. Her stats are 40 HP, 39 attack, which is huge, and 36 speed, which is very good. 36 might not be, you know, like 40 or 44 or something like that some people have, but it's still very good. It is very high, and with with her sky-high attack, anything that she counters will suffer a horrible fate. And that is exactly what I've just talked about with Bernie and with Lysithea. They'll suffer a horrible fate if they were to fight Annette. Annette has easy access to close call because, hey, look at me, I'm infantry, the best class in the game now. It's disgusting. If she has close call, you are done. If you try to attack her, you won't kill her and she'll rip your face off. So what I would do is build her as a close countering technique fighter. It's not like player face like Hilda but this kind of thing will hurt quite a bit. And since Annette has 39 attack, you can go up to 42, you can hit rather hard. And then you have access to times poles, access to infantry poles, all kinds of stupid poles. You will crush a lot of people. You'll crush them into dust. Besides that, you also have to consider the fact that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to go and have a player face, especially when I'm controlled by the AI, because I am a rally bot. I rally, attack, and speed plus. And now all of a sudden, hey, I'm a cavalry. I can suddenly move 4 spaces, unless you're using a bow. So Bernadette, I can't benefit from that. But hey, if Ferdinand decides that, hey, you know what, send me 4 spaces ahead so I can reach into someone's ass and fuck him with this Vanguard plus. You can do that. You can do that. That's what Crusher does, and it's absolutely deplorable. And you know what, even if it's not that, you can just use rally attack speed plus and just rally them to some horrible place. It's not like how with Legendary Azura, where you have to wait for someone to move first to use this rally. This will screw people over. And if you were to add just some regular dancers in there, you will screw people over. Annette is the strongest unit in this banner. No questions asked. Absolutely the strongest. Her Dev Res Ruse works well with her build. As a rally bot, but honestly, just go for close call. Build her speed. If not speed, go for attack. Counter people to death in one blow. If not that, you know, just build up lots of speed and use something like phantom speed or something like that, just in case you run into something really fast. You can tell them, fuck off, and then they're screwed. There's nothing they can do. Her HP isn't too bad either, so she's actually a pretty scary unit. I think that if I had the orbs, I would probably invest on Annette. 28 defense, 30 resistance, that's very high. Because if you add it onto close call, she's really going to be a tough unit to kill. I am 100% positive telling you this. Annette is the best. Absolutely the best. It's not biased or anything like that. I'm serious. She's definitely the best unit on this banner. Well, at least in my opinion. And of course, we have our Clown Ferdinand. Unfortunately, Ferdinand is Fortress Dev 3 in 2020. His stats are, quite frankly, a mess. What is his stats? His stats is like 32, 35. Ooh, oh, wow. Well, at the very least, you know, I actually have some defense. I have 30 defense and 24 resistance. Hey, look at me, guys. Look, I actually can, you know, survive a counterattack, maybe. I actually still, you know, I'm kind of upset. I wish that Puri gets a Resplendent. Puri would be nice, but, you know, Puri also has that stupid weapon that, oh, hey, you're less than 100 HP, then you'll get your stats. And even then, it's boring. 4 to all stats. Ooh, whoop-de-fucking-do. I mean, yeah, it does help a lot, but, you know, it's nothing like fucking Bike. And you also have to, like, be less than 100% HP. So, you know, eventually we're going to have, like, Gen 5, 6, 7, and these units are going to be forgotten, not usable. Well, okay, maybe not completely unusable, but definitely a lot harder to use. So, if you're going to invest on a unit, always invest on mechanics over stats. That is why I keep talking about Annette, because she has that edge. Not to mention she also has the stats. Eventually, maybe her stats will be less relevant, but she'll always have that stupid technique on her. So, yeah. Anyway, Ferdinand, he really got robbed. He should have had, like, at least a unique weapon that allows him to take less damage, a 20% reduction or something like that, at the very least. Or maybe, like, it being on an ABC slot or something like that. You know, that's what he needed. That would have made him, that would have been more characteristic for him. But nope, instead of that, you know, he gets Vanguard Plus. He doesn't even say, I'm Ferdinand von Jaeger. He's just a fucking clown now, and I'm very upset about this. Only the Japanese version has it, but yeah, well, I'll switch to Japanese. I don't understand the language. It's just a bunch of noodles in a bowl. I can't understand this. What is this? It's like reading an alphabet bowl. Alphabet soup. Get out of here. I'll slurp you up, and then I'll have a decent lunch, but that's all there is to it. Japanese language, I'll probably never learn it for the rest of my life, because there's just so much to learn. Anyway, so that's pretty much about it for my, little banner rant analysis yada 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 thing. I think I may have gone a little off tangent from time to time, but I hope that you find my opinions valuable with regards to Fire Emblem Heroes. Look, I know I bought the Fade Pass and everything, but you know, in the end of the day, it's much better than spending thousands of dollars on some stupid units like that that'll turn into crap later on. Hey, he's 4 stars at the very least. Lysithea, I mean, she'd probably still be very good. I mean, Lilina's still very good nowadays. But still, you know. Right now, the power creep has already reached a 45 attack. Surpassing everything, pretty much. You never know, eventually, that units will actually have, like, 50 attack. Or some shit like that. In which case, you know, there's really not much to discuss. So I hope that they keep the base stat average just manageable, please. I liked it better when everything was like, oh, you know, 35 was like considered really good, 40 was really good. You know, when the game first started, who has the highest speed? Oh, it was Lanku with his 38 base speed. Now he's garbage. He has nothing. He's nothing unique to him anymore. Anna has 37 speed. She used to be cool. Now there's nothing cool about her. I guess she could teleport all over the place. That could be useful. But, you know, anyway, you know what, let's stop talking about that. We'll just talk about something else in a bit. So, today, after I, you know, take a break, finish some work, I'm gonna go and make more videos up on the new things, like the new combat manual thing, the compa manual thing, and also the Hall of Forms thing. So, look forward to that. I thank you all for watching. Until next time.